Hi, Linda's back again. For those of you who have been with me for a while, you may remember I started going to a new church back the end of last year. I just wanted to talk about it because it's a little bit different than any church I've ever been to. I just wanted to tell you what I like, what I don't like. And some of it's very controversial, what they believe as opposed to other churches. But in some ways, it's one of the things that I like about it. And I guess I'll start out with the controversial part. No, I don't want no hate comments. I will delete them. No hate. But this church accepts everybody as a member or a congregant. They'll open their doors to everybody. And that includes the LGBTQ plus community. They don't believe in holding back on anybody. And why should they really, when you think about it? I mean, we're all God's children. I mean, God would accept us just as we are. I mean, I know there are so many Christians that are very judgy about that whole community. And I'm not sure why. They'd have just as much reason to be judgy about you, I guess. I mean, come on. When it comes to the Bible, yes, it does say something, bad about sex between the same sex. And it's like, so it also says that you shouldn't have sex outside of marriage, you shouldn't gossip, you shouldn't lie. I mean, how many of us have done all this stuff? Probably most of us in the church. We're all sinners. So how does that make us any better than them? It isn't. We're all in this together. And I look at us as, God made us all, and God doesn't make mistakes. I know a lot of people think that being gay is like a choice, but I don't think it is. I mean, why would somebody choose to be in a group of people that have been ostracized and killed and beaten up and whatever, all through the ages? I mean, why would somebody choose that? No, I believe that's them, and God made us all. God made them just as the way He did us. God doesn't make mistakes. So I'm happy that they accept everybody. I was looking for a church that would too. I always hated it when I go to a church and they'd speak ill about a certain section of people, you know. I mean, I've been in churches that speak ill of the Catholics, which is just another Christian part of it. And, they speak ill of Muslims. And yes, there are some bad Muslims, but they're bad Christians too. I mean, Muslims, from what I understand, they do believe in Jesus, but they believe Jesus is just a prophet, not the Son of God like we do. And they're basically a peaceful people if you get to know them. I've known a few in my life. Anyway, I'm happy that the church thinks this way, and because it's like I kind of believed it myself. All this, even though I was going to churches that some of them really spoke against it, I just had a hard time believing against it. I'm one of these people that just likes to keep the peace, love, the whole 9 yards. I don't want, I just, I like everybody. I try to like everybody. I mean, I don't like judgy people. I'll be the first to admit. But it's like I don't like hate at all. I don't like, being judged. Because when I was younger, I was bullied at times too, and called all kinds of names and whatever, most of which were totally untrue. And I don't want to see that for anybody at all. Anyway, that's the controversial part. Let's get into some other parts. One of the things I really loved, and I noticed in the beginning, like from the very first service, that they allowed children into the sanctuary during service. So many churches I've been to don't, and in some ways I could understand it, but some ways not. I always thought children should be able to be a part of the service. Why not? And this pastor goes out of his way, like towards, in the beginning of the service, he'll have like 5 minutes, he'll call the children up, and they sit around him. This is a small church, so there's only like 100 members, he said. So there isn't that many. Some Sundays there aren't any, but he'll still have the children's part for those that are online. And he'd just bring the children up and he'd ask them questions and then give a little teaching on, a certain part of the Bible related to what he was asking them. And it's really cute. It's really sweet the way he like treats them and, brings them up there and they sit in a circle. I really like that. I wish more churches were like that. But I can understand why some don't, especially the bigger churches. They don't want too many kids, which could be disruptive to the service. Thankfully, this church seems to have some pretty respectful kids that are quiet and know how to handle themselves, because I've never seen anything disruptive. This is another part of the open church. I also saw a lady there once with a dog in her, she was carrying a dog in, a dog carrier, a little dog. Now, dogs in church, that's kind of nice too. So, this is what I like about the church. Another thing I really liked is they have it's a small church, so they can't really have their own vacation Bible school the way some churches do, because there just wouldn't be enough people. But they get together with 2 other churches right in town to have vacation Bible school, and they all get together, all 3 churches, they work together. And I thought that was really great, and it's like these vacation Bible schoolers, students, they get to do things I never did at vacation Bible school. Oh my gosh, this year they had like a falconer come and, teaching them about falcons. They got to Cats in Bloom. They got to go to this Cats in Bloom, which is like a cat cafe where they adopt kittens out and you can sit around and play with the cats. Another time they went on a trip to an equestrian center that helps people with disabilities and stuff. They got to meet the horses and stuff, and it's like I never got to do any of stuff like that when I was in vacation Bible school. It was basically just teaching and crafts, and that was it. But I think it's really great that they got the 3 churches together. Since they couldn't with one, they found 3 churches that wanted to do this together, and I think that's great. Churches should work together. Another good thing about this church is they have something called the New Possibility Center for people in recovery. And I think we all know people who have had addictions, maybe in recovery now, or maybe still have the addiction and fighting it, or not fighting it. Some just go with the flow. But it's like, it is a bad thing, and there are a lot of people like that in this area too. It is a college town where I live. And I've known a lot of people. I have people in my family, friends, who have been in recovery and have had that problem. And they have this New Possibilities center where people can come. They have certain hours, the church people like man it, and they offer them help, if they need help with anything, or, they point them to resources if they need them or anything like that, which I think is really great. I don't know of any other church in this area that has something like that, but there might be, because I don't know every church. There are a lot of churches in this area. But I thought that's really great. And also, this church actually has a special church service on Saturday mornings, particularly for recovery people. I mean, a lot of it's based on recovery, like the 12 steps and this and that. So it's geared just towards the recovery people, but they say anybody can come. I don't know another church that does that either. And I've often thought of coming because you said anybody can come. And it's like, it's at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Sunday service is at 9, so I've been having problems. I have a hard time getting up and getting out the door by 9. That's just too early for me. If it's 10, I think I could get to the service more often. I'm thankful they have one online anyway. But one of these days, I do plan on getting there. to maybe the regular service. Anyway, and there were a church that like the churches I've had before always had a band for their worship part of the thing. This place doesn't. They just have somebody playing the organ, sometimes the piano, and they only can sing certain songs. Because I never really thought about it, but churches, especially ones that broadcast online, they have to pay for the songs that they're allowed to broadcast and sing. And he was saying that that's why they stick with like the old hymns, because they're allowed to do these certain hymns that he said even that cost him $250 a month to be able to do that. I'm like, wow. I can only imagine what some of these other churches that have all these, popular songs and all, with the bands singing and all. I can only imagine what they cost. But it's like those churches have more members too. Probably because they're more contemporary. I think that draws more people in for sure. I'm sure people want things that are more up to date. I don't know. I kind of look at other things too. Honestly, I don't mind just having like an organist and everybody singing to that. And they do still have the projection screen, so you can read the lyrics, which is good. Though I sometimes have a hard time seeing it on the screen on my TV. But that's another thing. Was there something else? I don't know. I think that's it. That's all I can think of that about the church that I really liked and disliked. It was very different to begin with. It took a few services before I really started getting into it and liking it, because I do like the pastor. I mean, that's a big thing. Gotta like the pastor and the way he teaches, and I do like this pastor. He seems very approachable and friendly. Unlike some churches I've been to, I don't know, most of the churches did have a pastor that was like somewhat approachable. This guy just seems like an everyday sort of guy. Somebody you can't help but like. Anyway, I'm just going on and on now. But this is what I've been going to lately, or not going to, watching online. It's the United Church of Christ. I don't know I think that's a thing that's around the country. I don't know. I know there's more than one church, just United Church of Christ. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought I'd tell you about my new church, and if you have any comments or questions or whatever, leave them. I like to know about your church and your feelings, even on the controversial parts. I just don't want no hate. Okay, just keep it clean. Anyway, until next time,